Listen to me. It's time to wake up. Not tomorrow, not next week. Not when life feels comfortable. Right now. Some of you have been sleeping on your potential for years. You keep telling yourself, one day I'll stop. One day I'll change. One day I'll grind. But fam, one dies cold for another. You're waiting for motivation like it's an alarm clock. But motivation doesn't wake you up. Purpose does. You got dreams inside you that are suffocating because you keep hitting the snooze button on your life. Every time you choose excuses over effort, distraction over discipline, comfort over commitment, you're putting your greatness back to sleep. You say you want success, but do you want it bad enough to wake up when everyone else is sleeping? Do you want it bad enough to walk away from comfort and walk straight into discipline? Because, listen to me, success doesn't come to the most talented. It comes to the ones who are awake. Life is happening right now. Opportunities are passing right now. Somebody out there is training, studying, building while you're waiting. And you're not losing because you're weak. You're losing because you're asleep at the wheel. It's time to wake up from the dream and start living the plan. It's time to wake up from excuses and step into execution. It's time to wake up from fear and move with faith. It's time to wake up from the maybe and stand on I will. You have everything you need, but you haven't activated it. And the world cannot benefit from a version of you that is sleeping. The world needs your voice, your gift, your grind, your greatness, but you must wake up to who you truly are. Every morning you wake up with air in your lungs. That's God saying, you still have purpose. Every day you open your eyes. That's another chance to fight for the life you said you wanted. So wake up with intention. Wake up with hunger. Wake up with discipline. Wake up with gratitude. Wake up and start becoming the person you were designed to be. No more delays. No more excuses. No more waiting. It's time to wake up because your next level is not coming to you. You got to wake up and go get it. Most people don't fail because they don't have talent. They don't fail because they don't have opportunities. They don't fail because life is too hard or the world is unfair. They fail because they keep hitting snooze on their potential. They keep delaying the moment they could finally rise. They keep postponing the actions that would change everything. They keep telling themselves, I'll start tomorrow, until tomorrow becomes next week, next month, next year, and eventually a memory of what they could have been. Every time you choose comfort instead of commitment, hesitation instead of hustle, and distraction instead of discipline, you are pressing another snooze button on your destiny. You're not just postponing a task, you're postponing your greatness. You're postponing your transformation. You're postponing your transformation. You're postponing your purpose. And think about it. When the alarm rings in the morning, your body wants to stay right where it is. Comfortable, safe. That bed feels like a hug from the universe. But staying there means choosing what you want now over what you want most. The snooze button gives temporary relief, but long-term regret. And the same thing happens with your potential. When the alarm of opportunity rings, when you feel that spark inside telling you to move, to try, to grow, to change, what do? Do you get up and respond, or do you silence it? Do you hit snooze with excuses like I'm not ready, I'm tired, I'll do it later, or I don't feel motivated? Because if you're waiting to feel motivated every time, you will sleep through your whole life. Potential is a gift, but it's also a responsibility, It's not enough to have talent, ideas, dreams, or ambition. Potential is only valuable when you activate it. A seed doesn't become a tree by staying in a package. A dream doesn't become reality by staying in your mind. The world doesn't reward people for what they could have done. It rewards people for what they actually do. There are millions of people with potential, but only a small percentage ever wake up long enough to do something with it. Being gifted means nothing if you stay asleep on your gifts. Being inspired means nothing if you never take action. Being passionate means nothing if you never show up. Hitting snooze is dangerous because it trains your mind to delay greatness. Every time you hit snooze, you're telling yourself, I can afford to wait. My goals can wait. My dreams can wait. My future can wait. And before you know it, you build a habit of delaying everything important. Discipline dies, dreams shrink, confidence fades. And you start believing lies about yourself, that maybe you're not good enough. Maybe you don't have what it takes. Maybe success isn't for you. But that's not the truth. The truth is that your potential is untouched because you keep sleeping through it. People think potential is a guarantee, but it's not. Potential expires if you don't use it. Think about athletes who were labeled of the next big thing, but never trained hard enough. Think about musicians with unbelievable talent who never practiced consistency. Think about students who were brilliant but lazy. Think about dreamers who talk big but worked small. Every one of them had potential, but they never woke up to chase it. You don't want to become a name people mention followed by the words, "or could have been." You don't want to end up living a life full of regret just because you didn't take that first step when you had the chance. Regret is heavier than discipline. Regret wakes you up at night in ways an alarm clock never could. When you hit snooze on your potential, you're not just delaying your life. You're delaying the people who need you. You're delaying the lives you could impact, the family you could support, the younger version of you who prayed for a better future. Somebody out there is waiting for you to wake up so you can become the person who inspires them, leads them, heals them, or helps them. But you can't help anybody if you're asleep on your own calling. And listen to me carefully. Waking up isn't just about opening your eyes in the morning. Waking up means opening your mind, opening your discipline, opening your purpose. It means deciding that today is the day you stop allowing fear, laziness, and excuses to run your life. It means refusing to let another day pass without effort, without intention, without progress. It means telling yourself, "I'm done delaying. I'm done waiting. I'm done sleeping on who I could be. It's time to rise." Because once you make that decision, not in your mouth, but in your soul, everything changes. The problem is most people want success as long as it doesn't require discomfort. They want the reward without the wake-up call. They want greatness without sacrifice, but you can't stay comfortable and become unstoppable at the same time. You can't stay the same and expect a different life. You can't sleep through the morning and expect to run the world in the afternoon. Every level of your life requires a stronger, sharper, more awake version of you. Imagine your future self looking at you right now. What would they say? Would they be proud? Would they thank you for waking up early, for grinding, for refusing to quit? Or would they be disappointed because you slept through the opportunity that could have changed everything? Your future self depends on your decisions today. Your potential is calling you, but it won't call forever. There comes a moment where if you don't answer, it stops ringing. You cannot treat your life casually. You cannot keep wasting your mornings, your gifts, and your energy. You cannot keep living the same day over and over, expecting something amazing to happen magically. You have to create the life you want. And creation begins with waking up. Waking up earlier than your excuses. Waking up earlier than your distraction. Waking up earlier than your doubt. Waking up earlier than your fear. Waking up earlier than everyone who talks but never acts. Your potential is your alarm clock. It's that voice inside you telling you that you were born for more than what you're currently doing. It's that tug that pulls at your heart when you see someone succeeding and you know deep down you're capable of the same or more. It's that frustration you feel when you're not giving your best. It's that spark you feel when you imagine a better life. But the longer you ignore it, the quieter it gets. Until one day you don't hear it at all. Not because it's gone, but because you've trained yourself not to listen. You deserve a life that excites you. You deserve a future that makes you proud. You deserve to experience the fullness of your potential. But none of that will happen if you keep pressing snooze on the work required. Every day you wake up, you're given two choices. Stay as you are or become who you were meant to be. And becoming who you were meant to be requires waking up before you feel ready, before you feel motivated, before everything is perfect. Wake up because your purpose demands it. Wake up because your family needs it. Wake up because time is short. Wake up because you're running out of chances to become the person you keep imagining in your head. The truth is, you are capable of more than you know, but you will never experience it until you stop delaying your own breakthroughs. You've been asleep long enough. You've been dreaming long enough. It's time to move from dreaming to doing, from wanting to working, from hoping to hustling, from potential to power. And all of that begins with one decision. Stop hitting snooze on your life. Wake up and rise into the person you were born to be. People keep saying they need more motivation. Like motivation is some magical fuel that suddenly transforms their life. They wait for the perfect quote, the perfect video, the perfect speech, the perfect moment to feel something strong enough to finally take action. But motivation is temporary. Motivation is emotional. Motivation is like a spark. Bright, loud, exciting, but gone in seconds if there's nothing solid to burn on. And that's why so many people stay stuck. They rely on motivation instead of learning the one thing that really wakes you up every day: purpose. Motivation might get you out of bed once, but purpose is what keeps you from ever going back to sleep on your life. See, the problem isn't that people don't have dreams. The problem is that they don't have a purpose deep enough to anchor those dreams. They say they want success. They say they want greatness. They say they want a better life. But the why behind those wants is weak. When your reason is weak, everything becomes an excuse. When your purpose is shallow, every challenge becomes a wall. But when your purpose is strong, it becomes your alarm clock. It wakes you before the sun. It keeps you grinding when you're tired. It pushes you forward when everything around screams of quit. You don't need more motivation. You need clarity. You need a direction. You need a direction. You need a mission that is bigger than comfort and bigger than excuses. If you don't have a purpose, you will seek motivation forever. Motivation is what you use when you want to feel good. Purpose is what you use when you want to become good. Motivation fades when life gets hard. Purpose grows stronger when life gets hard. Motivation is a moment. Purpose is a lifelong contract you sign with your future. Think about the times you were motivated before. Maybe you went to a seminar, watched a video, heard a speech, listened to a podcast. For a day or two, you felt unstoppable. You felt unstoppable. You told yourself this time would be different. You told yourself it's your season now. You felt the energy, the hype, the fire. And then what happened? Life happened. Stress happened. Doubt happened. Challenges showed up the next morning. And because you were depending on motivation, something emotional, something temporary, everything collapsed. You went right back to the same habits, the same routine, the same mindset. And you thought you needed more motivation? No, you didn't need more motivation. You needed purpose. Purpose doesn't hype you up. It holds you up. Purpose doesn't give you chills. It gives you direction. Purpose doesn't last one day. It lasts your whole life if you let it. And when you find a purpose that's real, that's personal, that's painful, that's deep. You don't need anybody to scream in your ear. You don't need music. You don't need music. You don't need reminders. You wake up different because you live different. You move different because your life means different. Purpose comes from what you refuse to go through again. Purpose comes from the promises you made to yourself in your lowest moments. Purpose comes from the people you love and refuse to let down. Purpose comes from the vision you have of yourself that will not allow you to settle. Purpose comes from your struggle, your story, your survival, and it becomes the force that pushes you even when your body wants to quit. Motivation is external. It comes from outside. Purpose is internal. It comes from within. When you depend on motivation, you allow your environment to control your destiny. But when you move with purpose, you control the environment. You don't wait for a good day to work. You make it a good day by working. You don't wait for the perfect time. You create the perfect time by starting. You don't stop when you're tired. You stop when you're done. That's the difference purpose makes. Think about the strongest, most successful, most disciplined people you know, the ones who keep going no matter what. Do you think they're motivated every day? Do you think they wake up excited every single time? Absolutely not. What they have is something far more powerful, a purpose that doesn't allow them to quit, a purpose that whispers to them when motivation is silent, a purpose that reminds them they were born for more, a purpose that tells them they cannot waste another moment playing small. The truth is, people who rely on motivation focus on how they feel. People who rely on purpose focus on what needs to be done. Motivation makes you emotional. Purpose makes you unstoppable. Motivation focuses on the moment. Purpose focuses on the mission. You need to ask yourself, what is my mission? What is my why? Why do I wake up in the morning? Why do I want this dream so bad? Why does this life matter to me? Because once you answer that, nobody will ever have to push you again. You will push yourself. You will become your own coach, your own fire, your own voice. You will stop chasing hype and start building habits. You will stop chasing feelings and start chasing results. You will stop chasing comfort and start chasing growth. A person with purpose is dangerous, not because they're strong, but because they don't stop. They don't fold. They don't disappear. They don't get distracted by things that don't matter. They don't settle for average when they were built for extraordinary. A person with purpose becomes a force. You can't talk them out of their dream because their dream is tied to their identity. It's tied to their survival. It's tied to their truth. And that's what you need. A purpose so deep that quitting feels like dying. When you understand your purpose, even your pain becomes fuel. Every setback becomes a lesson. Every failure becomes growth. Every challenge becomes a step forward. Purpose transforms problems into power. Problems don't break you anymore. They build you. When you know your why, every how becomes possible. So stop searching for motivation like it's the answer to your life. Stop waiting for inspiration to strike. Stop thinking you need someone else to energize you. What you need is inside you. What you need is a reason that makes excuses look small, a reason that makes fear look weak, a reason that makes discipline your second nature. You don't wake up early because you want to. You wake up early because your purpose demands it. You don't keep going because you feel like it. You keep going because your purpose won't allow you to stop. You don't show up every day because you're motivated. You show up because your purpose doesn't give you permission to disappear. When you shift your life from motivation to purpose, everything changes. Your habits change. Your mindset changes. Your work ethic changes. Your energy changes. Your self-respect changes. Your results change. Motivation wakes you up for a day. Purpose wakes you up for a lifetime. It's time to stop living on emotional energy that fades and start living on purpose. The kind that transforms your entire existence into something meaningful, powerful, impactful, and unstoppable. You don't need anyone to come and save you. You don't need anyone to come lift you up, push you forward, or carry you to your destiny. The problem is too many people are waiting for help that's never coming. They're waiting for someone to notice their struggle, someone to understand their pain, someone to hand them the opportunity they've been dreaming of. But life doesn't owe you that. Nobody is coming to your rescue. And the moment you finally accept that truth is the moment you finally wake up. The moment you realize that everything you've been waiting for is already in you, not around you. Is the moment you become unstoppable. You have to stop expecting people to push you. Stop expecting people to clap for you. Stop expecting people to cheer for your dreams more than you do. Stop expecting people to come fix the pieces you keep dropping. Stop expecting people to rescue you from situations you created with your own choices. The day you take full ownership, not partial, not convenient ownership, but full ownership. Now, if your life is the day your real breakthrough begins. People spend years saying, only someone help me. If only someone believed in me, I'd thrive. If only someone gave me a chance, I'd succeed. But the truth is, even if someone helped you, believed in you, or gave you a chance, it still wouldn't mean anything until you learn how to help yourself. Because nobody can give you more belief than you're willing to give yourself. Nobody can want your success more than you do. Nobody can convince you of your greatness if you still see yourself as average. No one can build your future for you if you're still building excuses. You keep waiting for a person, but the person you're waiting for is you. You are the hero of your story. You are the one who has to get tired of being tired. You are the one who has to stand up after falling for the 100th time. You are the one who has to decide enough is enough. You are the one who has to say, I'm not going back to who I was. You are the one who must carry your own dream, even when your legs are shaking and your heart is heavy. Nobody can do that inner work for you. You have to learn to become your own motivation, your own encouragement, your own support system. Most people collapse, not because the world is against them, but because they never learn how to stand without someone holding their hand. They never learn how to find strength in the silence, purpose in the struggle, or clarity in the chaos. They only know how to move when someone pushes them. But life doesn't give you push notifications. You must push yourself. You cannot keep waiting for the perfect mentor, perfect friend, perfect partner, perfect timing, or perfect conditions to start. Sometimes the people around you love you, but they can't lift you because they're carrying their own battles. Sometimes the world isn't ignoring you. It's just busy dealing with its own storm. And sometimes the person you're waiting for has no idea how much you're relying on them. So stop expecting others to do what you were built to do. The truth is, every person who ever rose from nothing had a moment where they looked around, realized nobody was coming to save them, and made the decision to save them, save them, save them, save. And that decision didn't come with applause. It didn't come with motivation. It didn't come with a pep talk or inspiration. It came in silence and loneliness when they had to look in the mirror and see the only person responsible for the next chapter. You don't rise because someone lifts you. You rise because you refuse to stay where you are. You rise because you see a future worth fighting for. You rise because the pain of staying becomes heavier than the pain of changing. You rise because your purpose becomes more important than your excuses. You rise because you finally understand that nobody can walk your path except you. Nobody can want your dream enough to do the work for you. Nobody can discipline your habits, silence your doubts, or chase your goals. Nobody can force you to believe in yourself. And nobody can face the battle you keep avoiding. You have to stop waiting for reinforcements and learn how to fight with what you have. You have to stop waiting for someone to validate your worth and learn how to validate yourself. You have to stop waiting for people to show up and learn how to show up for yourself. When you accept that nobody's coming, something powerful happens. You develop strength you didn't know you had. You learn resilience. You learn discipline. You learn grit. You learn how to push through when everything in you wants to quit. You learn how to stand tall even when your world is shaking. You learn how to depend on your own fire instead of someone else's spark. Your life changes the moment you stop outsourcing your responsibility. The moment you say, it's on me. The moment you take the wheel. The moment you stop blaming your environment, your past, your family, your job, your circumstances, your failure. The moment you stop making excuses for why you're not where you want to be. Excuses feel good in the moment, but they steal your progress. They protect your ego, but destroy your future. And at the end of the day, excuses won't pay your bills. Excuses won't build your legacy. Excuses won't make you great. Only work will. That power you're looking for, it's already inside you. You've made it through storms that should have broken you. You've survived pain that should have ended you. You've carried burdens you never talk about. You've pushed through nights where quitting felt easier than breathing. That strength didn't come from someone else. It came from you. So why doubt yourself now? Why wait for someone else to give you permission to rise? You don't need a savior. You need a decision to get up, a decision to move, a decision to learn, a decision to improve, a decision to let go of excuses, a decision to trust yourself, a decision to take your future personally, a decision to stop waiting and start becoming. Becoming your own motivation means you no longer move emotionally, you move intentionally. You wake yourself up, you push yourself through, you talk to yourself when doubt creeps in, you remind yourself why you started, you lift your own spirit, you hold yourself accountable. You give yourself the discipline that others never gave you. You become the fire that fuels your purpose. And guess what? Once you learn how to motivate yourself, nobody can stop you. People can leave you. You keep going. People can doubt you. You'll keep going. People can underestimate you. You'll keep going. Life can punch you in the mouth. You'll keep going because now you're powered from within, not dragged from outside. You were born with everything you need. You just forgot. But now it's time to remember. Remember that you are stronger than your excuses. Remember that you are capable of more than your circumstances. Remember that you are powerful beyond what you've shown. Remember that the person you need is already inside you. It's time waiting for someone to rescue you. It's time to stand up. It's time to take control. It's time to become your own hero. Because the day you stop waiting is the day you start winning. There comes a point in your life where you have to stop negotiating with your excuses. A point where you stop giving weakness a microphone. A point where you stop letting fear, comfort, and distraction make decisions for you. You've been allowing too many things to speak louder than your purpose. You've been letting the smallest obstacles control your biggest dreams. But if you're serious, and I mean truly serious, about changing your life, then you must reach a place where excuses no longer have space, no longer have power, no longer have influence. You must raise your standards so high that excuses cannot even reach you. Excuses don't start big. They start small. A 5-minute delay becomes a habit. I'll do it tomorrow becomes routine. I'm too tired right now becomes an identity. Excuses grow quietly, slowly, and comfortably, and that's why they're dangerous. They don't destroy your life in one moment. They destroy it one day at a time. They eat away at your discipline, your consistency, your hunger, your potential. They keep you asleep while your destiny waits for you to wake up. The truth is, some people don't fail because they're incapable. They fail because they're too comfortable. They fail because they're too ready to justify their lack of action. They fail because the excuses they've rehearsed have become more convincing than the reasons they should win. You've talked yourself out of more opportunities than life has taken from you. You said I can't more than life ever told you a no. Your excuses have become the biggest thief in your life, stealing your time, your energy, your future, and your greatness. You can't negotiate with excuses. You can't argue with them. You can't reason with them. Excuses don't respond to logic. They respond to standards. When your standards rise, your excuses die. When your expectations rise, your limitations shrink. When you level up mentally, emotionally, spiritually, your excuses lose their grip because you stop giving them permission to lead. Every time you decide to act despite discomfort, you weaken excuses. Every time you follow through when you're tired, you weaken excuses. Every time you push yourself one step further when everything in you says stop, you weaken excuses. The more you strengthen your discipline, the more your excuses starve. And the only way to starve them is to stop feeding them with your attention, your voice, and your belief. Excuses are powerful only because you keep giving them credibility. You treat them like truth when they're just temporary feeling. You treat them like reality when they're just mental noise. You treat them like boundaries when they're just fears in disguise. Excuses are nothing but lies your comfort zone tells you so. It can keep you from evolving. Think about how many times you say you didn't have enough time, but wasted hours scrolling your phone. Think about how many times you say you didn't have energy, but had energy to talk, to watch TV, to wander through life. Think about how many times you say you didn't have resources, but never used the free ones. Think about how many times you say you didn't have support, but never supported yourself with discipline. Excuses don't come from truth. They come from habit. You must reach a level where you hold yourself accountable, even when no one is watching. A level where you no longer allow the softness of your emotions to weaken the strength of your vision. A level where you refuse to sabotage your own future for the temporary comfort of your present. A level where excuses become unacceptable. Not sometimes, not when it's convenient, not when you feel good, but every single day, every single situation, every single challenge. Your dreams require someone who shows up, not someone who talks about showing up. Your dreams require someone who finishes, not someone who starts and stops. Your dreams require someone who fights, not someone who runs at the first sign of resistance. Your excuses cannot build the life you want. Only your discipline can do that. And discipline doesn't rely on how you feel. Discipline relies on who you decide to become. Here's the truth most people avoid. Excuses feel good in the moment, but they feel terrible in the long run. They give relief today, but create regret tomorrow. They protect your ego today, but destroy your confidence tomorrow. They hide your insecurity today, but expose your limitations tomorrow. Every excuse you make today becomes a reason you hate yourself later. And every time you choose discipline today, you create pride for your future self. Excuses don't disappear by wishing. They disappear by replacing them with action. You don't stop making excuses because you become stronger. You become stronger because you stop making excuses. You stop negotiating. You stop delaying. You stop minimizing. You stop lying to yourself. And you start being real, raw, honest, and committed. The gap between you and your dream is not talent. It's excuses. The gap between you and your best self is not intelligence. It's excuses. The gap between who you are and who you want to be is not opportunity. It's excuses. Excuses are the invisible force that keep your greatness locked away. And the key to unlocking it lies in one simple truth. You must stop listening to them. Every time you let an excuse win, you train your mind to accept mediocrity. You teach yourself that comfort is more important than growth. You signal to your future that you're not ready for bigger blessings, bigger responsibility, bigger purpose. Life will not reward someone who cannot manage their own consistency. Life will not elevate someone who constantly retreats. Life will not open doors for someone who refuses to walk through discomfort. You have to become a different version of yourself if you want a different life. That you who clings to excuses cannot walk into the future you're dreaming of. You must evolve. You must mature. You must mature. You must claim responsibility for every part of your journey. And yes, it will be uncomfortable. Yes, it will be heavy. Yes, you will have nights where your excuses scream louder than your ambition. But that's where growth happens, in the conflict between who you are and who you're becoming. There will be moments when it feels easier to quit. There will be moments where you justify taking a break, slowing down, stepping back. There will be moments where your mind tries to convince you that you deserve rest when you actually deserve results. But if you can push through those moments, if you can silence the excuses long enough to act, you will discover a strength inside you that you didn't know existed. And that strength will build momentum. Momentum becomes discipline. Discipline becomes identity. Identity becomes destiny. That is how transformation occurs. Not through motivation, not through talent, not through luck, through consistent action that refuses to negotiate with excuses. You owe it to yourself to rise above the limitations you created. You owe it to yourself to break free from the chains of your own mindset. You owe it to yourself to stop being the reason you're not succeeding. Stop feeding excuses. Stop validating them. Stop giving them power. It's time to raise your standard. It's time to break the cycle. It's time to live at a level where excuses cannot follow. When you finally eliminate excuses from your life, something incredible happens. You begin to trust yourself. You begin to respect yourself. You begin to believe in your potential. You begin to see progress instead of stagnation. You begin to build momentum instead of regret. You begin to rise, truly rise. Because excuses were never keeping you safe. They were keeping you small. And you were not born to live small. You were born to rise, to evolve, to grow. And that begins the moment you decide that excuses no longer have a place in your life. There comes a point in your life when you have to sit down with yourself and admit that the story you've been telling yourself is no longer working. You've been saying it one day. You've been saying it when the time is right. You've been saying I'll start when I feel better. But deep down, those words have become excuses, and those excuses have become a prison. You've been waiting for a moment that isn't coming. You've been waiting for motivation to magically appear. You've been waiting for a perfect environment, a perfect situation, a perfect mood, a perfect version of yourself to begin. And while you're waiting, the clock is running. While you're hesitating, life is passing. While you're overthinking, opportunities are slipping. And the hardest part is you know it, you feel it. Something inside you keeps whispering that you're capable of more, built for more, designed for more. But the moment you feel that inner spark, your habits, your fears, and your doubts pull you back into the same routine. At some point, you gotta break that cycle. At some point, you gotta say enough. At some point, you have to wake up and realize nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's going to drag you to success. Nobody's going to force you to become the person you were meant to be. You have to choose. You have to decide. You have to commit even when you don't feel like it, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's inconvenient, even when you're unsure. And you got to understand the truth. Most people never rise because they don't want to disrupt their comfort. They want success while staying the same. They want growth without growing pains. They want change without changing. They want to wake up in a different life without waking up differently. But it doesn't work that way, and it never will. Your next level isn't in what you want. It's in what you're willing to give up. It's in the habits you must break, the distractions you must eliminate, the conversations you must stop entertaining, the people you must distance yourself from, and the version of yourself you must outgrow. You can't carry old thinking into a new future. You can't bring your past mindset into your next season. You can't step into greatness while holding hands with the same excuses that kept you average. That's the separation. That's the reason why only a small percentage of people make it there while the majority stay stuck. It's not because they're special. It's not because they're lucky. It's because they were willing to wake up earlier than everyone else, work harder than everyone else, discipline themselves more than everyone else, and sacrifice what others refuse to sacrifice. You got to reach a point where your desire to grow becomes stronger than your desire to stay comfortable. And that shift doesn't happen overnight. It happens in moments. Moments where you want to quit but don't. Moments where you want to sleep in but get up anyway. Moments where you want to give half effort but choose full effort instead. Moments where everything in you is screaming to stop, but you whisper, just one more. Those moments build character. Those moments build strength. Those moments shape you into the kind of person who rises no matter how many times life knocks them down. Those moments transform you from someone who dreams into someone who executes. And execution, consistent execution, is the difference between wanting success and becoming successful. Most people spend their entire lives dreaming about the life they want but never building it. They dream, they fantasize, they talk, they plan, but they never execute. And execution is the only thing that separates the top 1% from the rest. The 1% wakes up early when no one is watching. The 1% studies when others sleep. The 1% trains when others relax. The 1% sacrifices today for tomorrow most people will never experience. They understand that greatness doesn't happen in grand moments. It happens in the small decisions repeated every single day. Greatness is not a result of what you do when everyone is praising you. Greatness is built in the dark, when no one sees you, when no one applauds you, when no one acknowledges your effort. Greatness grows in silence, and you gotta ask yourself, what are you doing in the dark? What are you doing when nobody is watching? Are you building or are you pretending? Are you progressing or are you procrastinating? Are you stepping forward or staying stuck? Because every move you make in private will show itself in public. Your results will expose your habits. Your success will expose your work ethic. Your growth will expose your commitment. And your lack of progress will expose your excuses. You can't fake execution. You can't fake discipline. You can't fake consistency. You can post quotes, you can talk big, you can hype yourself up. But at the end of the day, results don't lie. Your life right now is a reflection of your daily actions, your daily routine, your daily mindset. And if you don't like the reflection, don't smash the mirror. Change the person standing in front of it. Change starts with awareness, but it grows through action, constant action, repeated action. Even when it feels slow, even when it feels boring, even when you feel like nothing is happening. Because here's the truth. When you're working on yourself, progress is invisible before it becomes obvious. Seeds grow underground before they break the surface. Muscles grow in micro tears before they grow in size. Skills grow in frustration before they grow in mastery. Strength grows in repetition before it grows in results. And your mindset, your resilience, your habits grow long before the world notices. But most people quit before that point. Most people stop because they don't see quick results. They say it's not working when in reality it is working. They just can't see it yet. And that's the danger. We live in a world addicted to instant gratification. We want fast success, fast validation, fast breakthroughs. But true transformation takes time. And the ones who win are the ones who stay committed even during the invisible seasons. They keep sowing even when the soil looks dead. They keep pushing even when progress feels slow. They keep going even when no one claps, no one praises, no one notices. Because they're not doing it for applause. They're doing it for alignment. They're not doing it for validation. They're doing it for evolution. They're not doing it to be seen. They're doing it to become the best version of themselves. And you got to reach a place where you trust the process enough to stay committed even when the outcome isn't obvious. You got to trust that your consistent effort will pay off. You got to trust that your discipline will make a difference. You got to trust that every small step you take is leading you somewhere. But trust doesn't come from talking. It comes from showing up over and over, day after day. And the more you show up, the more you build a reputation with yourself. The more you show up, the more you show up, the more your confidence grows. The more you show up, the more your identity shifts. Because confidence is not built from compliments. It's built from confidence. It's built from doing what you said you were going to do, especially when you didn't feel like doing it. So you've got to wake up every day and recommit. Recommit to the grind. Recommit to your discipline. Recommit to your goals. Recommit to your future. Because commitment isn't a one-time decision. It's a daily choice. And every day you wake up, you choose whether to move closer to your purpose or stay in the prison of your excuses. You choose whether to maintain your old habits or build new ones. You choose whether to rise or remain. And the moment you choose to rise consistently, everything in your life will begin to shift. Doors will open. Opportunities will appear. Strength will build. Confidence will grow. Identity will evolve. Life will change. Because the truth is simple. You don't get what you want. You get what you're willing to work for. You get what you're willing to sacrifice for. You get what you're willing to stay disciplined for. The life you dream of is on the other side of effort you haven't given yet. The version of you admire is on the other side of habits you haven't adopted yet. The future you desire is on the other side of decisions you haven't made yet. And the only way to reach it is to stop waiting, stop wishing, stop hesitating, and start building every single day without failure. There comes a moment in every person's life when they must stand at the crossroads between who they've been and who they're capable of becoming. That moment doesn't come with fireworks. It doesn't come with applause. It doesn't come with someone patting you on the back telling you, this is the moment your life changes. No, it comes quietly. It comes on an ordinary day, in an ordinary hour, in an ordinary moment. Something inside you whispers that what you're doing is no longer enough. It comes in the moments when you realize that you've been moving, but you haven't been progressing. Busy, but not productive. Active, but not advancing. Surviving, but not thriving. And the truth hits you. You've been living below your potential. You've been accepting temporary comfort instead of lasting growth. And you've been choosing the easy way instead of the meaningful way. That's the moment when you must decide whether you will keep repeating the same year over and over or whether you will finally break the cycle and step into the future that's been calling your name. And that decision doesn't come from motivation. Motivation's emotional. Motivation is temporary. Real change, true, lasting, undeniable change comes from conviction. It comes from a deep internal decision that you're tired of being who you've been. You're tired of settling. You're tired of telling the same story of almost. You're tired of being the person who gets close but doesn't follow through. You're tired of being the person who dreams big but plays small. At some point, you've got to get tired of your own excuses. You've got to get tired of waking up with regret. You've got to get tired of watching others live the life you want while you keep telling yourself for one day. And that's where discipline enters. Not the glamorous kind, not the Instagram quote discipline. I'm talking about the real, gritty, painful discipline that forces you to do things you don't feel like doing because you know the future version of you deserves it. Discipline is not about being perfect. It's about showing up. Showing up when you're tired. Showing up when you're stressed. Showing up when you're discouraged. Showing up when no one believes in you. Showing up when your circumstances tell you to quit. Discipline is the difference between the person you are and the person you could be. Discipline is the bridge between potential and purpose. Discipline is the quiet daily choice that builds your destiny one action at a time. But most people never reach their potential because they rely on emotion instead of discipline. They do the work when they feel good, but success demands you do it when you feel nothing. They give their best on days full of energy, but greatness requires you to give your best on days you are running on empty. They grind when life is easy, but champions grind when life is falling apart. And that's the real test. Can you stay committed when everything you wants to quit? Can you keep moving forward when the world feels heavy? Can you remain disciplined when the reward seems far away? Because anyone can work when it's fun. Anyone can grind when the results show. Anyone can push when there's momentum. But the ones who reach the top are the ones who keep pushing even when nothing is happening. They keep watering the seed even when the soil looks dry. They keep believing when progress is invisible. They keep fighting even when the odds are stacked against them. You've got to understand something powerful. The process is supposed to challenge you. It's supposed to break you down before it builds you up. It's supposed to stretch you beyond what's comfortable. Growth doesn't happen inside comfort. Comfort feels good, but it doesn't elevate you. Comfort keeps you in the same place. Comfort gives you the illusion of safety, but robs you of your destiny. And if you stay in comfort too long, comfort eventually becomes a cage. And what was once comfortable becomes painful because you know you were built for more than this. You know you're capable of more. You know you're wasting potential. And nothing hurts more than unused potential. So if you want to grow, you gotta be willing to step into discomfort. You gotta be willing to do the hard things. You gotta be willing to wake up early when you want to sleep in. You got to be willing to work long hours when others relax. You gotta be willing to say no to distractions that look fun, but take you further from your goals. You gotta be willing to be misunderstood. You've gotta be willing to lose friends who don't fit your future. You gotta be willing to feel alone for a season, because growth often begins in isolation. You gotta be willing to sacrifice who you are for who you could become. And understand this, discipline becomes easier when you attach it to a purpose bigger than your comfort. Comfort fades, purpose endures. Comfort changes with your mood. Purpose changes your life. When you know why you're doing what you're doing, discipline becomes a responsibility, not a burden. When you know the future you're building, you stop negotiating with laziness. When you know who you're becoming, you stop entertaining shortcuts. Purpose gives you strength discipline alone cannot give. Purpose gives you energy discipline cannot generate. Purpose gives you direction when emotions confuse you. Purpose lights the path when motivation dies. But here's the truth. Most people never tap into their purpose because they're too distracted. They're drowning in noise, social media, entertainment, comparison, gossip, useless conversation, shallow validation, and endless scrolling. And they wonder why they feel lost. They wonder why they feel stuck. They wonder why they lack direction. You can't hear your purpose when your mind is full of noise. You can't discover who you are while constantly consuming who everyone else is. You can't find your path when you keep getting lost in distractions. You have to create silence in your life. You have to disconnect from the noise. You have to become intentional about your environment. Your environment shapes your energy. Your energy shapes your decisions. Your decisions shape your future. So if your environment is chaotic, negative, lazy, and full of distractions, your life will reflect exactly that. You gotta protect your space. You gotta protect your mindset. You gotta protect your peace. You gotta protect your focus. You gotta remove yourself from environments that feed your weaknesses and place yourself in an environment that feeds your strengths. And once you eliminate the distraction, discipline becomes more natural. Focus becomes effortless. Clarity becomes stronger. You begin to see the difference between what's important and what's urgent. You begin to understand that your life doesn't improve when you do more. It improves when you focus on what matters. Not everything deserves your energy. Not everyone deserves your time. Not every opportunity deserves your attention. Discipline isn't just about doing more. It's about doing less of what doesn't matter. And once you master that, you begin to shift. You begin to evolve. You begin to transform. Discipline stops feeling like punishment and starts feeling like empowerment. You stop feeling like you're giving things up and start realizing you're gaining your future. You stop feeling like you're sacrificing and start understanding you're investing. Your mindset changes from I have to I get to. You start showing up differently. You walk differently. You walk differently. You talk differently. You set boundaries where you used to tolerate nonsense. You take ownership where you used to make excuses. You hold yourself accountable where you used to blame circumstances. You start becoming the person you always knew you could. That's the beauty of discipline. It changes you. It molds you. It shapes you. It turns you into someone capable of handling what you're praying for. And that's the part people forget. Everyone wants a bigger life, but not everyone is prepared for what a bigger life demands. You want success. Success demands consistency. You want greatness, demands sacrifice. You want elevation, elevation demands separation. You want transformation, transformation demands discipline. And until you develop the discipline required for the life you want, that life will remain out of reach. So the question you must ask yourself today isn't a do I want it? Because of course you want it. Everyone wants it. The question is, am I willing to commit? Am I willing to discipline myself? Am I willing to stay consistent even when I don't see results? Am I willing to sacrifice temporary pleasure for long-term purpose? Am I willing to be uncomfortable long enough to grow? Am I willing to do the work every single day? Because if the answer is yeah, then nothing can stop you. not circumstance, not setbacks, not fear, not doubt, not fatigue, not judgment, not delay. With discipline, you become unstoppable. With discipline, you become unshakable. With discipline, you become undeniable. With discipline, you turn dreams into plans, plans into actions, into routines, results, and results into a legacy. There comes a point in your life where you have to stop negotiating with yourself. You have to stop waiting for permission, validation, or approval from anyone else. You've been conditioned to believe that someone outside of you has to give you the green light to move forward, to pursue your dreams, or to become the person you know you're capable of being. But the reality is nobody is coming to give you permission. Nobody is going to wait for you. Nobody's going to push you forward, and nobody's going to fight for the life you want. That fight is yours. That battle is yours. That victory is yours. And the first step in winning is understanding that you've been waiting too long for the wrong people to show up. It's time to stop waiting. It's time to take ownership. It's time to rise. The problem is most people spend their lives waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect opportunity, or the perfect circumstances. They say, I'll start when I have more time. I'll begin when I have more resources. I'll act when I feel ready. And what happens is they wait. They wait until their fire dims. They wait until their confidence fades. They wait until the opportunity has passed. Waiting has become their habit. Waiting has become their identity. Waiting has become their excuse. And every second you spend waiting is a second your future self will with. You act used differently. You are losing moments that can never be replaced. And your dreams are slipping further away with every hesitation. And here's the truth. Life doesn't reward the hesitant. Life doesn't favor the cautious. Life doesn't give trophies to the timid or accolades to the doubters. Life rewards the bold. Life favors the relentless. Life elevates those who refuse to wait for someone else to give them a chance. The moment you accept that the only person who can change your life is you, that's the moment you begin to wake up. That's the moment you stop playing small. That's the moment you step into your power. Too many people live below their potential because they're waiting for someone to believe in them more than they believe in themselves. They look for mentors, friends, family, or bosses to say, yes, you can do it. But the harsh reality is, external belief will never surpass the belief you have in yourself. You can have the support of everyone in the world, but if you do not trust yourself, if you do not discipline yourself, if you do not hold yourself accountable, all that external validation will mean nothing. You have to be the one who decides your worth, who fuels your vision, who motivates yourself when no one else is there. The person you've been waiting for to save you, to push you, to encourage you, is inside you already. And understand this, you don't rise because someone gave you permission. You rise because you decided to stand. You rise because you decided that comfort is no longer an option. You rise because you decided that mediocrity will not define you. You rise because you decided that your past failures, your doubts, your fears, your setbacks, and your struggles are not bigger than your purpose. A purpose, true, undeniable purpose, has a way of demanding action from you, whether you feel ready or not. Purpose will not wait for your fear to pass. Purpose will not accommodate your hesitation. Purpose will not negotiate with your procrastination. Purpose shows up. And the question is, will you show up for it? Most people fail not because they aren't capable, but because they are unwilling to endure the discomfort that comes with growth. They want the result, but they don't want the process. They want the victory, but they don't want the grind. They want success, but they don't want to be disciplined. They want progress, but they don't want the pain. And here's the reality, growth is uncomfortable. Progress is painful. Achievement is demanding, and you can either choose comfort now or choose greatness later, but you cannot have both. You cannot climb a mountain while staying in the valley. You cannot rise to the top while holding on to excuses. You cannot evolve while clinging to the old version of yourself. And that's the secret most people don't understand. The only thing standing between you and the life you want is the decision to push past your discomfort. The only thing standing between you and your dreams is your willingness to act when everything in you wants to quit. The only thing keeping you from becoming the person you've imagined is the courage to start despite fear, doubt, and uncertainty. Every great success in history began with a choice. One person deciding that their circumstances, their background, their failures, and their critics would not define them. One person deciding that they were going to do what others wouldn't. One person deciding that no obstacle, no challenge, no setback would keep them from the life they were meant to live. You have to understand that waiting is the enemy of progress. Waiting kills momentum. Waiting kills dreams. Waiting kills potential. The longer you wait for someone else to light the fire inside you, the longer you delay your own growth. And the problem is waiting feels safe. Waiting feels comfortable. Waiting feels like you're in control because you're not taking risks. But here's the truth. Nothing grows in safety. Nothing evolves in comfort. Nothing changes in the familiar. And if you want a life that is extraordinary, if you want a life that challenges you, inspires you, and elevates you, you must step into uncertainty. You must step into fear. You must step into discomfort. And you must step alone if necessary. Because here's the thing. The people who wait for company to start never start at all. The people who wait for permission never move. The people who wait for motivation never act. But the person who wakes up, as often says, I will do this myself. I will fight for my dream. I will pursue my purpose regardless of who believes in me. That person becomes unstoppable. That person becomes unshakable. That person becomes a force that no circumstance, no criticism, no failure, no doubt can stop. And the journey will be hard. It will test you. It will challenge you. It will make you question yourself. It will push you to your limits. And at times, it will feel unbearable. But that is precisely the point. The struggle is what separates the weak from the strong. The struggle is what separates the dreamers from the achievers. The struggle is what separates those who settle from those who soar. You were not built to live an easy life. You were not built to take shortcuts. You were not built to quit when the going gets tough. You were built to persevere. You were built to endure. You were built to rise when others fall, to fight when others surrender, and to shine when others fade. So what will it be for you? Will you continue waiting for someone to validate your work, or will you stand up and validate yourself? Will you continue asking for permission to chase your dreams, or will you give yourself that permission and move forward? Will you continue blaming circumstances, past mistakes, or other people for your stagnation? Or will you take full ownership and create the life you know you're capable of? Every second you hesitate is a second your future self will regret. Every delay is a moment your potential is wasted. Every excuse is an opportunity stolen from you. And here's the ultimate truth. Nobody is coming to save you. Nobody's going to do it for you. Nobody is going to push you harder than you push yourself. Nobody's going to outwork you if you don't outwork yourself first. Success is not a favor. Opportunity is not a gift. Achievement is not a handout. Every step, every effort, every sacrifice, every ounce of discipline is yours to make or lose. And the moment you finally embrace that truth, the moment you finally accept that the power to change your life is already in your hand, that is the moment your life begins to change. Because you will rise, you will evolve. You will break through, you will surpass, you will grow, you will endure, you will conquer. And the only reason you haven't yet is because you've been waiting. You've been hesitating. You've been holding back. You've been listening to fear, doubt, and comfort. You've been looking outward instead of inward. But today, right now, in this moment, you have a choice. You can keep waiting and wondering what might have been, or you can start. You can start today. You can start small. You can start imperfectly. You can start despite fear. You can start despite doubt. You can start even if no one believes in you. Because once you start, momentum will build. Once you start, confidence will grow. Once you start, your future will begin to unfold. And every great life, every great story, every great achievement begins with that one decision to stop waiting and start moving, to stop hesitating and start planning, to stop blaming and start building, to stop dreaming and start doing. That is the difference between those who remain stuck and those who rise. That is the difference between the ordinary and the extraordinary. That is the difference between a life of almost and a life of greatness. That is the difference between a life that fades away and a life that leaves a legacy. So stop waiting, stop hesitating, stop delaying, stop doubting, stop blaming, stop hoping someone else will do it for you. Stop looking for external validation. Stop depending on anyone else to light the fire that is already burning inside of you. Stand up, take control, fight, push, grind, sacrifice, commit, show up every single day. And in doing so, you will create a life that no one can ignore. You will create a life that no one can take away. You will create a life that proves to yourself and to the world that you were not meant to wait. You were meant to rise. There comes a moment in your life when you have to stop running from reality. A moment when you have to face yourself in the mirror and admit that the only thing standing between you and the life you want is you. That moment doesn't come with comfort, it doesn't come with ease, and it doesn't come with reassurance. It comes with confrontation, with challenge, and with trouble. You've been hiding behind excuses, behind distractions, behind the illusion that tomorrow will be easier than today. But the truth is, tomorrow will be what you make of it. And if you keep waiting, if you keep hesitating, if you keep putting off the hard work, tomorrow will be the same as today, and the day after that, and the day after that. Life doesn't pause for your comfort. Life doesn't wait for your readiness. Life moves, and the question is whether you are moving with it or being left behind. Most people never reach their full potential because they refuse to confront themselves. They avoid the hard questions. They avoid the uncomfortable truths. They avoid looking honestly at where they are and where they're headed. They pretend that small actions, small decisions, and small compromises don't matter. They say, I'll do better next week. I'll start tomorrow. I'll try again later. But that later never comes, and tomorrow becomes just another day of excuses. And meanwhile, their dreams are waiting. Their potential is waiting, and their greatness is waiting. But waiting alone will never get them there. You cannot wish for growth. You cannot wish for success. You cannot pray for progress if you are unwilling to act today. The universe does not reward delay. It does not reward hesitation. It rewards those who move, those who risk, those who refuse to wait. And understand this, the moment you stop running, the moment you decide to face your life honestly, is the moment change begins. But facing your life means taking responsibility for everything. Your choices, your habits, your failure, your weaknesses, your fear, your weaknesses, your distractions, and your excuses. You have to own them all. Nobody else can fix them. Nobody else can discipline you. Nobody else can force you to rise. That work is yours. That accountability is yours. That responsibility is yours. And when you accept that, something shifts inside you. You stop blaming. You stop waiting. You stop wishing. You start acting. You start building. You start building. You start fighting. You start becoming the person you were meant to be. Most people fail because they are afraid of discomfort. They think growth will feel good, but it doesn't. Growth hurts. Growth demands sacrifice. Growth requires you to stretch beyond what's familiar. Growth demands that you give up temporary pleasures for long-term results. Growth requires you to be disciplined when everyone else is relaxing. Growth requires you to sacrifice convenience for commitment. And most people aren't willing to pay that price. They want results, but they aren't willing to endure the process. They want transformation, but they refuse to struggle. They want victory, but they don't want to bleed, sweat, and sacrifice for it. And yet the hardest part is showing up even when you don't feel like it. Showing up when you're tired. Showing up when you're discouraged. Showing up when the results haven't arrived yet. That is the test that separates those who dream from those who achieve. That is the test that separates those who talk from those who do. That is the test that separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. Because it is easy to work when you feel motivated. It is easy to push when life is smooth. It is easy to grind when everyone is watching. But the real strength, the real character, the real greatness emerges when no one is looking, when the path is uncertain, when failure seems more likely than success, and yet you continue. You have to understand that your life is a reflection of your daily choices. Your results are a reflection of your daily habits. Your character is a reflection of your daily actions. And if you want to change your life, you have to change what you do every single day. Not sometimes, not when you feel like it, not when it's convenient, every single day. You have to feed yourself with discipline, dedication, and focus every single day. You have to guard your time. You have to protect your energy. You have to eliminate distraction. You have to stop entertaining people, habits, and excuses. Steal your potential. You have to be intentional with your every move, because if you are not intentional, life will intentionally move you. and not necessarily in the direction you want to go. And the reason so many people never wake up is because they're addicted to comfort. They are addicted to short-term relief. They are addicted to the easy path. They are addicted to avoiding pain. But here's the truth. Comfort is the enemy of progress. Comfort will lull you into mediocrity. Comfort will convince you that small is enough. Comfort will keep you from discovering your potential. Comfort will keep you from taking the risks that are required for greatness. And the world does not owe you ease. The world does not owe you fairness. The world does not owe you opportunity. The world only responds to effort, resilience, and persistence. If you want the life you're dreaming of, you must be willing to leave comfort behind. And that is where your mindset comes in. You must cultivate a mindset that embraces challenge, that welcomes struggle, that thrives in adversity. You must develop the mental toughness to keep going when the road is hard. You must develop the resilience to keep fighting when life knocks you down. You must develop the courage to keep moving when everything in you wants to quit. And that mindset isn't born. It is built. It is built through action. It is built through discipline. It is built through daily commitment. It is built by repeatedly choosing growth over comfort, purpose over pleasure, and long-term vision over short-term satisfaction. You see, your circumstances will never be perfect. Your situation will never be ideal. You will never feel ready enough. You will never have everything figured out. And if you wait until you feel ready, you will wait forever. The only way to move forward is to take imperfect action today. The only way to grow is to embrace discomfort now. The only way to rise is to start before you are fully prepared. Because preparation is not what guarantees success. Action does. Action creates momentum. Momentum creates confidence. Confidence creates results. Results create transformation. And transformation is the reward for those willing to step up and do the work when nobody else is watching. And understand this. Failure is part of the process. Failure is not a sign that you are weak. Failure is not a signal that you should quit. Failure is feedback. Failure is a teacher. Failure is the price you pay to grow, to learn, to strengthen, and to become better. Every successful person you admire has failed. Every high achiever has faced setbacks. Every legend has experienced moments when the world seemed against them, when doubt filled their mind, when fear tried to stop them. And the difference is they didn't stop. They didn't quit. They didn't let fear dictate their actions. They kept going. They adapted. They learned. They grew. And that is what you must do as well. So what will it be for you? Will you continue to wait for the perfect moment? Will you continue to hope that life will hand you what you want? Will you continue to let fear, doubt, and distraction control your decisions? Or will you decide right now that you are done waiting, done hesitating, done compromising? Will you decide that your life is worth fighting for? That your dreams are worth chasing? That your potential is worth unlocking? Because the moment you decide to take responsibility, the moment you decide to stop blaming, the moment you decide to act despite fear and uncertainty, that is the moment your life begins to change. You have to show up for yourself. You have to believe in yourself. You have to trust yourself. You have to fight for yourself because no one else will do it for you. The people who achieve greatness do not wait for permission. They do not wait for comfort. They do not wait for approval. They step up. They take action. They take risks. They make sacrifices. They endure hardship. They work when everyone else sleeps. They grind when everyone else relaxes. They commit when everyone else hesitates. And that is why they rise while others remain stagnant. And the truth is, you were not put on this earth to live a small, average, or unfulfilled life. You were not designed to settle. You were not meant to accept less than you are capable of achieving. You were not born to look back on your life with regret, wondering what could have been. You were born to rise. You were born to fight. You were born to grow. You were born to become more than you are today. And the only thing standing between you and that future is the decision to step up and claim it. So today, right now, stop waiting. Stop hesitating. Stop doubting. Stop looking for excuses. Stop depending on else to make your life better. Take control. Stand up. Step forward. Work hard. Sacrifice. Persevere. Commit. Show up consistently. Do the work even when it's uncomfortable. Do the work even when it feels pointless. Do the work even when results haven't arrived yet. Because the moment you decide to take responsibility for your life, The moment you stop blaming circumstances and start building. The moment you act when others wait, your life will begin to change. Your potential will begin to awaken. Your purpose will begin to guide you, and your greatness will begin to emerge. And now, after all the truths we've confronted, after all the challenges we've uncovered, after all the excuses we've exposed, it comes down to one thing: you. Right now in this moment, there's no one else who can do this for you. No one else who can fight your battles, walk your path, or build your future for you. It all begins and ends with you. And I don't say that to scare you. I say that to empower you. I say that to remind you that the power, the strength, and the potential that you've been looking for externally has been inside you all along. You've just been looking in the wrong direction. You've been waiting in the wrong places. You've been hoping for the wrong people to show up. The truth is, the person who can change your life, the person who can break the chains of your limitations, the person who can make your dreams real is sitting right there inside your chest, in your heart, in your mind, in your spirit. And that person has been waiting for you to step up. You see, the reason most people never rise is not because they aren't capable. The reason most people never rise is not because they don't have dreams, talents, or ideas. The reason most people stay average, stagnant, or stuck is because they wait for someone or something outside of themselves to ignite them. They wait for the perfect moment, the perfect conditions, the perfect timing, or the perfect permission. And while they wait, life moves. Life doesn't pause for hesitation. Life doesn't bend to the comfort of procrastination. Life doesn't slow down for indecision. Every second you spend waiting is a second you can never get back. A second someone else is using to get ahead. A second someone else is using to grow. A second someone else is using to rise. And when you realize this, when you see clearly that time doesn't wait, something inside you must shift. Something inside you must awaken. Something inside you must ignite. And this awakening comes with responsibility. It comes with accountability. It comes with the realization that you are the captain of your own ship. You are the architect of your own destiny. You are the author of your own story. And if your life is not where you want it to be, if your dreams have not manifested, if your potential has not been realized, it is not because of luck, circumstances, or other people. It is because you haven't yet fully claimed your responsibility. You haven't yet committed to the grind. You haven't yet mastered your mindset. You haven't yet chosen discipline over comfort, action over delay, persistence over quitting, and purpose over distraction. And once you make that choice, once you take ownership, once you embrace the responsibility of your own life, you will begin to move in ways that others can't even comprehend. The path forward will not be easy. Let me be clear, it will not be easy. You will encounter challenges that test you. You will face obstacles that discourage you. You will experience failure that tempts you to quit. You will feel the weight of doubt pressing down on your chest, the fear of uncertainty paralyzing your steps, and the voices of naysayers echoing in your mind. But let me tell you something powerful. That is exactly what it means to grow. That is exactly what it means to rise. That's exactly what it means to move from who you were yesterday to who you are capable of becoming tomorrow. The struggle is not the enemy. It is the signal. The struggle is not a punishment. It is the teacher. The struggle is not something to avoid. It is something to embrace. Because in the struggle, in the resistance, in the moments where giving up feels easier than going forward, you discover strength you didn't know existed. You discover courage you didn't know you had. You discover resilience you didn't know could survive. And in those moments, when you push through, when you fight, when you persist, that is when transformation happens. That is when growth happens. That is when greatness is born. You have to understand that waiting for external factors is a trap. Waiting for permission is a trap. Waiting for the perfect conditions is a trap. Life will never give you the perfect moment. The perfect time will never arrive. The perfect people will never show up. The perfect environment will never exist. If you wait, you will never act. If you wait, you will never rise. If you wait, you will never become. So you have to take what you have right now and make it work. You have to take the circumstances you don't like and turn them into fuel. You have to take the limitations others place on you and use them as stepping stones. You have to take the challenges you face and see them as opportunity to prove to yourself that you are capable. You have to take action today with the imperfect resources you have, with the imperfect knowledge you possess. And trust that as you move, the path will reveal itself. And this action must be consistent. It must be relentless. It must be daily. You cannot rise by doing what's easy once in a while. You cannot achieve greatness by half-hearted effort. You cannot transform your life by taking breaks, by hesitating, by waiting for inspiration to strike. Discipline is the key. Discipline is the bridge between dreams and reality. Discipline is the engine that drives you forward when motivation fades. Discipline is the commitment to showing up every single day, even when you don't feel like it, even when you're tired, even when progress seems invisible. Every moment you spend disciplined, every sacrifice you make, every effort you put in compounds over time. And one day, the work you've been doing quietly, persistently, and consistently will erupt into results that astonish you. And let me tell you something else. The process will test you. It will push you. It will challenge every part of you, your mind, your body, your spirit. It will make you question yourself. It will make you doubt yourself. It will make you feel alone at times. But those tests are not designed to break you. They are designed to make you stronger. Those challenges are not meant to stop you. They are meant to refine you. Those difficulties are not accidents. They are opportunities for growth. And the moment you stop seeing obstacles as enemies and start seeing them as instruments of your evolution, you will rise above them. You will navigate them. You will overcome them. You will become unstoppable. And remember, failure is part of the journey. You will stumble. You will fall. You will make mistakes. You will face moments where you feel like you've lost, where you feel like the world is against you, where you question whether all the effort is worth it. But failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of success. Failure is the laboratory where you learn, the classroom where you study, and the training ground where you grow. Every successful person has failed. Every person who has risen from nothing has faced setbacks. Every person who has achieved greatness has known disappointment. The difference is they never let failure define them. They never let failure stop them. They never let failure become an excuse to quit. They learned. They adapted. They persisted. And that persistence, that resilience, that refusal to give up is what carried them to the top. And now it is your turn. You are standing at a crossroads. You are facing a choice. You can continue the same way you've been living, hesitating, delaying, doubting, waiting. You can continue blaming circumstances, waiting for external validation, and hoping someone else will show up to make your life better. Or you can step up. You can step up. Ownership. You can commit. You can fight. You can persist. You can embrace the discomfort. You can endure the struggle. You can rise. The choice is yours. And every second you wait is a second lost forever. You must decide today that you will no longer be defined by fear. You will no longer be defined by doubt. You will no longer be defined by hesitation. You will no longer be defined by the opinions of others, by the limits others place on you, or by the circumstances you cannot control. You will define yourself. You will control your narrative. You will dictate your path. You will determine your destiny. And as you do, you will become the person you were meant to be. You will achieve the results you were meant to achieve. You will live the life you were meant to live. You will inspire those around you. You will leave a legacy that cannot be ignored. And in the end, when you look back, when you reflect on your journey, you will realize that the only thing that mattered all along was you showing up. You showing up every day. You giving your best. You refusing to quit. You committing to your purpose. You embracing the struggle. You trusting the process. You acting despite fear. You choosing growth over comfort. You choosing action over waiting. You choosing discipline over procrastination. And it is in that consistency, that persistence, the determination that your life transforms, that your dreams materialize, that your potential becomes reality, that you rise. So today, I challenge you to wake up. I challenge you to take responsibility. I challenge you to commit. I challenge you to act. I challenge you to embrace discomfort, endure struggle, and persist through failure. I challenge you to show up for yourself every single day, no matter what. I challenge you to stop waiting, stop hesitating, and stop letting fear dictate your life. I challenge you to take the imperfect resources, the imperfect knowledge, the imperfect courage you have right now and begin. Begin the work. Begin the process. Begin the journey. And as you begin, as you persist, as you fight, as you commit, I promise you one thing, your life will never be the same. Your potential will awaken. Your purpose will guide you. Your strength will grow. Your confidence will rise. And your greatness will emerge. Your time is now. Your life is yours. Your dreams are waiting. Your future is calling. And the only thing standing between you and all you were meant to be is the decision to rise. Make that decision today. Make that commitment today. Take that step today. And from this moment forward, refuse to look back. Refuse to give up. Refuse to settle. Refuse to wait. Refuse to doubt. Stand tall. Step forward. Fight relentlessly. Persist daily. Show up consistently and ride.